The first thing a business needs is an idea. Before you can go through a process of marketing your brand or securing a business license, you first need to answer a crucial question. What is it that you want to sell? It's super important to narrow down on an idea for what you want to sell to your customers, because without some type of target, you would be lost. Actually, you'll waste a lot of resources, a lot of time, a lot of money. If you know what you want to bring, then you can start to develop the idea. But you want to have something to start from. You might find out that the idea that you have is not the best idea for the end result that you want. Or you might find out that somebody else is already doing that idea and you might not want to compete. You have to start somewhere. For my craft fair business, the first thing I did was I went to the craft fair and I walked around and I looked at all of the different vendors, and I made a conscious decision that I wanted to sell something they didn't have. So once I was able to take inventory of what was already being sold in the market, the next step for me was I looked around to see, well, what are some of the things that I'm looking for as someone who's coming to this island from the mainland that is not available for me to buy. If you have an idea of some sort, whether it's going to be a product or service, I would start there. I would recommend products over services because you can sell products without using as much as your time. But when you have a service, you have to be there, or someone has to be there. So it's not scalable. Like, there's definitely a limitation to how much you can do when you have a service. So my recommendation first would to choose product over service. To figure out what product, I mean, you have friends, you have relatives, people you go to school with. I would just start asking them for ideas. What's something that you buy a lot of? What's something that you wish you could buy? For these type of things that you buy, if you could change it in some way and make it better for you, what would you do? So that's just asking people. You don't spend any money. You ask for feedback. If you want to do craft fairs, I would go to a craft fair and I would look around and see what they have. I would see how many people are in the booth. Does it look like people are interested? Does it look like people are buying this type of product? If you find some products at the craft fair that kind of interest you, the next step I would look at is not copying what they do. Don't do that. Figure out a way to enhance the type of product that they have. Figure out a way to package it with other products that would add more value and then sell that. I recognize a problem, I create a solution for it, I package that solution nicely, and then I present it and make an offer. Once you kind of get an idea of what types of products you want to do, then the next step is go figure out how much it's going to cost for you to put that product together. So you're so excited, you want to do a business, but you got all these different ideas, right? I want to do this, I want to do that. That was actually me. I wanted to have this and that and the third. And what I decided to do and what I would recommend is I sat down and I wrote kind of all the benefits of the different businesses. I wrote down all of the features, meaning what would be included in this type of business. All the skills that I had, I wrote those down to see which skills would be useful with the different types of businesses. So once I wrote down all the benefits of the different business ideas, all the features, and all my own skill set, then what I did was I decided to kind of evaluate how I felt about each different business idea with me casted in as the business owner. So say if I wanted to sell hair products, I wanted to do Uber, and maybe I wanted to be a car salesperson, and maybe I also was thinking I would be really good at babysitting. Those are 4 completely different things, right? So the next thing I would do is I say, how do I feel when I babysit? Does that make me happy? Is that something I want to do a lot? When I Uber, do I get excited going to pick people up? Does that energize me to meet new people? And once I kind of evaluate how I feel about it, I'm kind of determining how passionate I am about that. And once I've decided, okay, this is what I want to do, this is the idea, these are the skill sets that I can use. I really like how I feel when I'm doing this, but I still got to narrow it down from like 6 ideas to 1 or 2. Then I'm like, which one will pay me the most? Which one will I get the most benefit from? Which one will give me the most time, or whatever your values are. Like, I love to be flexible with my time. I love to have control of that. So I'm basically just assessing my core values and if the idea in front of me will help me achieve my core values. If it will, great, let's start there. If it won't, maybe not at all, or maybe not now. But let's say I have no idea. Like, I really just have no clue what kind of business I want to start. One thing I would do is see if I can identify any role models that I might have in life, and if they have businesses or not. If they have businesses, I might take a closer look at the type of business they have and see if that's something I would want to do. Another way to kind of identify a business idea when you don't have any is I would get on Google and I would put in keywords, top ways to earn income in 2023. That'll generate a list of different career paths. I would look at that list and see if anything interests me. If so, perfect. I'll take a closer look at that. But I'll give you one of the secrets that we do inside of our Student of Wealth challenge in our Crafts for Cash program, Accelerators program. One of the secrets is I would take a personality test. Oh my God. Do you know how cool it is to take like a Myers-Briggs test or something like that? When you take a personality test, what it does is ask you a bunch of questions, like a long survey about the way you think and how you feel. When you get the results of that, it actually shows you and gives you ideas of different types of career paths that you would do well with based on your personality. And once you have that information, start there, explore. If it says that you would be, good as a advocate or a lawyer or something, look into that particular area and see what kind of solutions you may be able to provide for problems that people have in that area. That means I go to the computer, I say, lawyers in my area. I see what type of lawyers are here and what problems they solve or who they serve. If there's a hole or something missing, then I look at, okay, so we have lawyers that do divorce, we have lawyers that do corporate stuff, and we have lawyers that do, criminal lawyers. But we don't have any lawyers that look at contracts. Do I like contracts? Because if so, that's a hole. Maybe I could fill that market. We don't have any lawyers that actually open themselves up once a week for an hour or 2-hour coaching with members of the community who could pay a price in order for them to come and ask questions every week about things they're going through that require legal representation. That's a product. So I would just explore in that way in order to discover a new idea. If I were to name a creative process from going from having nothing to something, I think my first step would be to identify the topic or the field of whatever the project is I'm trying to be in. And once I have that, I would find someone who has knowledge that I can go and learn from, like a mentor or an advisor, so that they can help condense the time that it takes me to learn and help keep me from doing some things that literally take me off the path. Once I've identified what I want to do and someone who could, teach me how to do it and do it well, I would start studying. I would actually study before I start trying to present something to someone for a fee. Once I feel like I have not necessarily mastered something, but once I know that I've gained knowledge that can help people, I would start to share it. And from that point, I would look for people who may have be like-minded, or who can understand the vision that I have and the mission that I have and want to be a part of it. And then I would start to ask them for their ideas, and we will all put our ideas together, and organically something will start to be created. I always ask God also, can you please decrease me and increase you in me as I'm creating this thing? Help me to figure out the best way to put it together. Help me not be distracted from all the stuff around me that's trying to tell me that this is what I should be concentrating on. I should do it this way. And just help me be confident, Lord, that everything that I'm doing, you're ordering my steps. And once I know and I have said in my spirit and to the Lord that I want you to be a part of it, I just go. I don't have all the answers after that. I just go. Like, I have an idea. If I can close my eyes and see it in motion, then I open my eyes and figure out how to get there. So having an idea is the first step to creating a successful business. Now let's talk about turning that idea into reality.